am just so excited to introduce you to Sandi Baete. She is not only my friend and an author, but also a special family member of mine. And she just has packed so much wisdom into this little book that she's written. And so Sandi, do you have anything that you'd like to share about yourself before we really talk about the book in regards to who you are and what's important to you or what you do or anything like that?
Sure, sure. Yeah, I just want to thank you for having me on today. I'm so excited too. Like Jackie said, we're not only friends but cousins too, so that's very cool. Um, so I don't know what everybody is that's watching this or where your background is or whatever, but the foundation of my life is Jesus Christ, and basically everything I do, I try to come at it from that angle. I don't always succeed. I fail often, but that is my guiding principle. Is Jesus, how I can glorify him. And so even in gift giving, I always say that gift giving is my spiritual gift, even though it's not really one of the spiritual gifts that's in the Bible. But I believe that wholeheartedly that we can serve others through that. And we'll get into that, I guess. But anyway, I am married for 35 years. I have 3 pretty much grown children. I have a little grandson that I am actually full-time grandma now. So I have an off day today, but normally I watch him 5 days a week. He keeps 2 years old, keeps me very, very busy. And my husband and I own a party rental store too, which I'm retired from now. So that's kind of me in a nutshell.
Yes. Well, you said you didn't really know if, giving was a spiritual gift, but love is.
Yeah.
And your gifting, like your ability to give gifts that show love, I mean, I feel like that is an extension of your spiritual gift. And
Thank
so
you.
tell us so what's the title of the book?
It's just called Gifts for All.
Okay. And what inspired you to write a book about that?
Well, I've thought about it for years. And a couple of years ago, I wrote a post for our church that had a few ideas and some different things. But I have a friend who has pushed me more in my writing in the last year or so. And she really encouraged me and kind of gave me a deadline. And I thought, okay, I can work with a deadline. I tend to be a little bit of a procrastinator, unfortunately. And so when someone's counting on me, though, I will step up to the plate and produce. So that's kind of what happened. I went back and looked at what I had done a couple of years ago and just got busy and went for it. And so now I'm so excited because I feel like it's actually going to be a catalyst to other things that I want to do and other things I want to write about, and even more gift giving ideas that I want to write about as well, and other ways to look at it and other things to do. But that's all for another time. But that's kind of how it came about.
One thing that I realized is I sat down with Sandi's book yesterday. It is an Amazon Kindle download. And so literally you like make a decision today, like after this conversation, like, I want to get that book. You can go have it in your hand in like 1 minute. And I said yesterday morning, I got it and I just read the whole thing at one time. I mean,
Awesome.
it wasn't like, it was, I had time to read, but you just made me want to read more because your perspective on gifting and your creativity just helped me think new thoughts about gifting. And so one thing, I just made some notes from the book and we can talk about that, and then you can share what you want to share. But one thing that you asked 3 questions at the beginning of the book. And I think these are the 3 questions, not the questions I wrote to myself. I think this is what you wrote. The number 1, and this is a good question. If you're watching and you're like, you should, I'm thinking like, you should ask yourself these questions while I'm asking you this. Have you ever considered gift giving an act of service? So in our culture right now, service is like this, it's an important aspect of really what by the world standards, would consider someone a good human, is if you serve others, not just a Christian principle that if you're a Christ follower, you want to be like Jesus, and he served other people. But just as a whole, whatever your faith is, serving others is important. And so you asked the question, have you ever considered gift giving an act of service? Do you seek to honor God when you give gifts? And does thinking about shopping for Christmas gifts cause you to feel anxiety or stress? Did you write that one? Did you write that last one? Are those the three questions?
Yes, those are the three questions.
That they were so much like something I would say to myself. I was like, she wrote that, right? Because then after I was looking at my notes, just my own reflections after reading that. I think that, have you ever considered gift giving as an act of service? Do you seek to honor God when you give gifts? And does thinking about shopping for Christmas gifts cause you to feel anxiety or stress? And I don't know for everybody, but I would say for most women that would listen to this conversation, we have varied answers on those questions. And so what you, I think, attempt to do is to give people a new perspective when it comes to answering those questions. And I walked away from the book with a new perspective. And so you use a scripture that was 2 Corinthians 9:7. I don't know if I asked you about this already, but do you remember? Do you know what it is? It's about giving joyfully.
Yes.
And everything in this book, like when I was thinking if I was someone receiving one of these gifts, I was like, that would bring so much joy. And so I'm going to stop now. And I just want you to kind of share what your philosophy is when it comes to good gifting.
All right. Well, I've got some notes here, so because I didn't want to have to read the whole book to everybody. But yeah, I think first of all, I definitely look at gift giving as an act of service, a way to show love. And it doesn't have to be expensive. In fact, in this day and age, most of the time, people either have what they need and they get what they want, or they don't even have what they need. And that's a whole other issue in and of itself. And so I look at just gift giving as an opportunity. A lot of us look at it as an obligation. And I've actually heard that recently by someone I know. I overheard in a conversation. I wasn't eavesdropping. It was right in the vicinity where I was. But they were very irritated about having to give gifts and for various reasons. And it just hurt my heart that they just looked at it in a different perspective than I do. I just have always loved gift giving. Since Joe and I got married many years ago, and I started being on my own and giving gifts, I didn't know until I started giving gifts that how much I loved to give them. And so as I gave gifts, and people really loved what I gave them, because I tried to be very thoughtful in like, okay, what does this person like? Not just going to the store and saying, oh, well, that's a $10 gift that will work for that person. But really thinking about their interests and their hobbies, and even sometimes their job, just anything about them that would make a gift speak to them more personally. And so I kind of got this reputation in our family of just being a really good gift giver. Everybody always wants me to be the person who gets their name at the Christmas drawing. It's kind of embarrassing at this point. I'm like, and it's also a little bit of pressure at this point for that, because like I always have to have a really good gift because they're all expecting it. But I just, as I gave people gifts and they did receive them joyfully and were so excited, it made me want to keep doing that. And so I, over the years, started out, just had a few nieces and nephews. And as our family grew, my Christmas list now is almost 150 people, which Joe kind of cringes at. But I have found that a lot of times just a small gift, a small acknowledgement of, I have thought of you. I am thinking of you. You are important to me. Those things can all be conveyed with a small gift. And so I love giving gifts to people and seeing that joy in their face and letting them know that they are seen and that they are known and that they are loved. And so like my neighbors all get Christmas gifts. Sometimes it's hot chocolate baskets. This year it's going to be decorated little cylinder candles. Like this is, I'm just going to pop up some stuff here. So this is a little candle that you can get at the Dollar Tree. And then you buy Dollar Tree stickers and literally put these stickers on the front. And it's super cute.
Are those, I saw that, a picture of that in the book. So are those like those foam stickers?
Yes.
And craft stickers?
Yes.
And they,
Yes. That's all they are. And I've decorated some other ways too. I've got several different ways, but I gave these to Joe's cousins several years ago and they all just raved and then even came back to me later and like, okay, tell me how to do that because I need to make those for some people. It
the
doesn't have to be
how to
big or
make
extravagant.
the instructions on how to make those cute candles are in the book. I
Yes,
know.
yes, they are. That is in the book, and I actually have a whole bunch of stuff here too that I whipped up last night that I was going to show you guys. A couple of things from the book, and some special things for you all that aren't in the book. So anyway, I'll try to like show those as we go along. But anyway, Jacqui had mentioned like good gifts, and so I always try to give good gifts. And so a good gift to me is something that's useful, meaningful, or consumable. That helps somebody be seen, known, and loved. So a lot of times you'll find that my gifts are consumables, whether that be a candle that you can burn down and then you're finished with, or something to eat, a spa item like some bath salts, because people need to feel love, but they don't always need more stuff.
Yes. Yeah.
And I have found that over the years, I gravitate more towards consumable items. And they're not a burden to people. They use them and they think of you and then they're done.
I
But I
love that.
also,
Like, I didn't really, you might have said that, but the consumable part of that is that they use them and they think of you and then it's over. Instead of you having the thing that you've received that you don't, somebody gave it to you, maybe you don't really love it. So I'm thinking not being on the gifting end, but on the receiving end, but you feel like that would just be rude, like to not have it, you know? So when it's a
yes,
consumable thing, then it has kind of a different feeling to it.
absolutely. Yes. Yeah. And like you said, the person doesn't feel obligated. Again, like in gift giving, like we should not feel an obligation in giving it. It should be an opportunity. And you don't want to put that burden on someone else to feel like it's an obligation to hold on to something. So that's great. I love that. Love that
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Some other things I know we had talked about. A good gift. I have to tell you this. So a good gift doesn't have to be extravagant. This is a way to think of someone. And this is a gift that I was given many years ago. And I think I wrote about this in the book. So many years ago, I was getting up much earlier than our family to get ready for the day. And our house was kind of cold because we like to keep it chilly when we sleep. But then when everyone gets up, we would bump the heat up a little bit or turn the fireplace on. And I was always so cold in the morning taking my shower and getting ready. And my husband that year for Christmas bought me this little, probably less than $20 little electric heater that you plug in the bathroom. So I could make the bathroom nice and cozy warm and not turn the heat up for everyone else until they got up. And my husband still laughs because to this day, like that gift made me feel so loved and seen and cared for, in that he saw I had this little problem and he came up with a solution for it. And so it's not about being over the top money wise. It's really about thinking about the person. So, but I have a thing, I use a term that I've kind of coined, I guess, that I call frugally extravagant.
Yes, I love that.
And everybody I tell always loves that idea.
And you are that. Like I have received gifts from, and it doesn't matter what the gift is, it feels extravagant because of, well, because it's from her, but because of the way I think the way it looks, the way you've taken the time to like make it look special. And that I just realized like that really does mean a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not hard to do. I'm going to show you a couple of ideas here. So one thing, really, frugally extravagant, to me, kind of has two meanings. The main meaning that I talk about in the book and that we'll talk about today is that it's just a gift that looks like more than it really is, whether that be through packaging, whether you add something to it. It's just like it's just details, really. And so, just for instance, like bath salt. But you can see this container, like, okay, whatever, it's bath salt. And not, you can make bath salt too, but I'm just showing you this for this example. You can make it if you want. But I found these little jars, and I know this is a little hard to see, but I found these little jars at the Dollar General store for $1. Look how cute the little lids are.
Yeah.
And they have little snowflakes on them. And so I package the bath salt into the little jars and then just put a little tag on it. So let's know it's bath salt, because otherwise they may not. Oh, shoot. I can't. I'm not good with my camera.
So you bought the container of bath salt and then you just scooped it out to make individual gifts.
Yes. The same thing. These are teeny tiny cookie jars, which I think are super cute.
They're cute.
Aren't those cute? I got those at Hobby Lobby and put some bath salts in them. They also have them on Amazon, I think. Little hard candies.
Okay.
And again, they're like this. You get a whole big bag for $1 at the Dollar Tree.
Yes.
And you throw them in those little jars. So I'm like, I like just adding two things. So this one's a really good example.
Like $1, $2, $3, and $3 gifts.
Yes. I think of gifting year round. I don't think of it just like, okay, well, it's December now, so now it's time to think of gifting. I kind of keep a storeroom, which my husband kind of laughs too, but if my kids come home, hey, I've got this friend who's having a birthday or whatever, literally I can go to my basement and I can, pop some bath bombs and some tea and a chocolate bar in a little basket and be like, there you go, you're all set, because they didn't plan ahead of time. So it's good though to have a few things on hand where you can make a gift quickly. And like the hot chocolate baskets, that's a great quick gift that you could put together that man, woman, I mean, even a teenager or tween would like that.
Yeah. So in the book, there are 50 ideas. I think there are 50 gift ideas ranging from 64 cents to $20. And the majority of those gift ideas, though, are in the $5 or less range.
That's right.
And the ideas that you shared there, I already have presents under my Christmas tree, and they are in gift bags. That's one thing that she noted in the book, is that gift bags are okay, but they are kind of generic. And I use gift bags just because it's convenient. But sure. I know one of the reasons that, like, when I've received a gift from you, that it feels special is because it's usually in some sort of a box or container. And I even noticed, like, Sandi gave me a gift at Thanksgiving, and it was in a small little box, but I'm sure that box, something else came in that box and you just repurposed that box. And another thing that I noticed that you do is if there's something on, like if you do a gift bag or there's a box, you just take construction paper and like glue it over it or something so that you can repurpose it and reuse it for your intention.
Yes.
And I really paid attention to that. And so I'm not going to go unpackage the presents I have under the tree, but there's still a lot to go. And so it has from reading your gift ideas, it has really given me ideas on just ways to take the things that I already know that I'm going to gift and make them just feel more special when they're actually getting it into their hands.
Yes, yes.
One thing that I did love that really stands out to me, it was your gift card idea. So we know that a lot of people prefer gift card. You don't know what to get somebody, you do the gift card, or it's convenient to just grab a bunch of gift cards up and not have to be out and about shopping. But there's even ways to make gift cards more special. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yep. So there's a couple things I do. One thing is I will do a small gift that kind of goes along with the gift card. And so they actually have something to open or unwrap besides just the gift card. So that could be, just off the top of my head, like it could be a coffee scented soap or some coffee candies with a coffee shop gift card.
Yes.
Or it could be like a bottle of nail polish with a manicure or pedicure gift card. Just anything like that. Then my other fun thing I love to do, and I have this one sitting right here with me because I want to make sure to show it and see if we can show it. So I've got these little mailboxes that you can get at the Dollar Tree normally. And I'm going to sit this down. So I'm going to take this out. And then I've got several in here. So then I buy these little envelopes on Amazon. You get like 60 for $10 or something like that. And you can make them look like a little piece of mail. And so here's just this one. This one was like I printed a stamp, kind of a stamp off on, but you could even use a real stamp if you wanted to.
Yeah.
This one I just used the little snowflake stickers for the stamps and just used different color cardstock to do that. And then so you would just put the person's name and then who it's from up here. And then you tuck that into the mailbox. And I usually add, depending on who's getting it, either some peppermint candies or a chocolate bar or something like that around it. So they have this cute little mailbox to open and get their gift card out of.
It's the cutest. That is beautiful. I just that mailbox is so cute.
I was gonna say it's my favorite. I'm like, everything's my favorite.
Yes. Yeah, it's really, really cute. Now this was the last thing I just have in my notes, and I know we kind of talked about it. I know, especially you're a business owner yourself, or now retired. Your family still owns the business.
Yes.
I am a business owner, and it is so impactful and meaningful when people shop with your small business. And we hear a lot about that. Like at this time of year, it seems like my social media is like flooded right now. It was last weekend, especially because of Black Friday and then Small Business Saturday. And the small business owners really come out and say like, hey, don't forget about me. And sometimes though, it can get a little like this feeling of like, oh my gosh, am I bad if I'm shopping at the big box store? Like, is this like there's some kind of like some people have some real feelings about that. And you shared something so good in your book because I know you, I know that you really do value shopping local, shopping with people and fair trade situations. But one thing that you share here, because when you're talking about some of the places you get your things, to make these all kinds of different gift ideas is, well, I'll let you share that. How do you feel about that? Even though it's maybe not like the little local boutique or whatever.
Yes. Yes. So my preference in a perfect world would be to buy every gift from a small business, a woman-owned business, locally owned business, somebody on Etsy who, is trying to add to their income in a perfect world. But we all know that doesn't always fit budgets and those sorts of things. I'd like to support a cause. I love to buy stuff from kids who are doing their school fundraisers, whatever. But a lot of times that just isn't what's going to work for us. And so, when we buy locally, when you go into your local Dollar Tree or Walmart or wherever it is you're going, the people who work there live in your community. They are your neighbors. And so, yes, we're supporting the big people too, but we're also supporting our neighbors and our community, with not only jobs, but with tax dollars. And so, I don't think we need to feel bad about that.
Yeah.
I think, we are shopping out of love, hopefully. We're trying to find the best gift we can find for what fits our budget best. And I don't think, if that means shopping, I bought several things from Jacqui this year for my best friend for Christmas. She's watching this. She's going to be like, oh, now I kind of know what I'm getting, but not completely. But if we can, that's great. But sometimes that just doesn't work. And I don't think we have to feel bad. And I think a lot of times there's a lot of shaming that goes on with, you're shopping at this store, that store, whatever. And everybody's doing the best they can in this world. And sometimes great gifts come from unexpected places. And so I don't feel bad about that.
And that's what I was thinking when I finished your book. And I want to encourage you all I know a lot of people, I can see the numbers fluctuate of who's been in and out today, but we'll link Sandi's book. It's like $4.99 on, if you Kindle Unlimited, you can get it for free.
Yep.
But I feel like maybe in the past, if you haven't been able to see the holiday gift giving as a way for you to really extend your love to others, because it has felt like this, it's hard sometimes to like have all that extra spending in December, especially if you haven't prepared for it. And so then we're like, man, I can't even, I'm already stressed out about this. And now how am I going to give them a gift that even means anything? And Sandi's book has so many ideas that even those dollar gifts that are given out of love, that love comes through on the care that goes into preparing that gift. And the recipient will know that because it's not just something handed to them, but it is really, there is a little extra time and attention that goes into it. And so when I was done, I was like, this book is so encouraging no matter where you're at on the spectrum of gift giving. And I just really, I really appreciated that. And
Oh,
Sandy, where can the community of women here, where else can they find you? I know you write some, not just like doing this project yourself.
yes.
You're doing some other things. So tell
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, so you can connect with me on Facebook. At my Facebook page is Kaleidoscope Remnant. So if Jacqui has a chance, I may have her. She probably will have that tagged someplace because I know it's spelled kind of weird. And then I also write for Sisters Forward, which is also an online community of Christian women, and there's a whole bunch of us who write on a variety of topics every month. And so those are the two places that you can find me.
Yes, yes. So the Sisters Forward, I have just kind of it's just started this year, so about middle
Yeah.
of this year or
Hmm.
so.
In March.
And I will link that as well because it's an encouraging space for women that are looking to just dig into another like-minded community that's all faith-based. And so Sandy introduced me to that, and I'd love to share that with you all. We'll get the link up for that. And do you have any or want to share anything that's stirring as far as like what the next thing I want to write might be? Or are you still formulating those ideas?
Oh, no, the next thing that will probably be coming down the pike, and it may be a little bit before it comes out. But several years ago, and I kind of shared this with Jacqui, um I wrote a Bible study. It was written as a Bible study, but we'll probably just do it as a book called Practically Jesus. And it's just all about how to live your faith in everyday life. And it's very applicable, even if faith is not a big part of your life. The principles and the ideas could be used by anybody. Although I would hope that maybe the book eventually might spur you on to check out the faith aspect as well.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I will look forward to watching you flesh that out. And then, of course, an invitation to come back and tell us about that when you're finished. So thank you for your time and thank you for your patience in figuring out the technology stuff. And I'll put the links when we're finished. We'll drop the links in here. And then also, Sandy sent me some links that have some of the places where she gets some of the resources that are in her book, like just the extra, like the little jars and those kind of things, or things that weren't maybe in the book, but that are great resources.
So like this is, now that I put my phone down, I figured that out. So this is a little gift I put together. And I bought, these are little, like those little stacking wood blocks.
That's cute.
Like kids, those stacking rocks, but they came natural. And so I broke them up into multiple sets and put them in these little totes, and then bought paints and paintbrushes and put candy in with it. And these are for a couple of my younger nieces and nephews.
Yeah, that's so cute. Where were those blocks from?
Those are from Amazon. And so this whole thing, I think, was like $10 total. And it gives them an activity, an art activity. And then they have the little rocks, the stacking blocks to play with afterwards. So those will be linked on there.
The links out there. And then I'll also link her Amazon link so that if you want to grab the book, you can.